Hello. I'd like to welcome everybody here as well. I'm also the Vice President of NEAR, and I'm very, very happy to see all these smiling faces. I have a very good friend to talk about today. His name is Justin St. Louis, and he's the recipient of the Maratta Award this year. Justin's worn many hats in short track racing as a driver, freelance writer, publicist, announcer, statistician, historian, and now owner and promoter of the Sprint Cars of New England, SCONE, and the Vermont Motorsports Expo. Thankfully, Justin did not pursue a racing career as a driver. He won a few races, but crashed and burned at many more. His true destiny was awaiting him. Growing up at Thunder Road, he was trained by none other than Tom Curley and Ken Squire, and worked in the media department there and at Airborne Park Speedway, as well as on the traveling American-Canadian tour for the better part of 5 years in the 2000s. He struck out on his own in 2009 to create the Vermont Motorsports Magazine website, covering 70-plus races per year in New England and New York, as well as in Florida Speed Weeks. During that time, he began writing weekly racing columns for Vermont's 3 largest daily newspapers and contributing as a lap-by-lap commentator for races broadcast on Ken Squire's WOEV radio, which he continued doing through 2018. He served as publicist and announcer at Bear Ridge Speedway for 3 seasons before taking a full-time role in media and marketing at Devil's Bowl Speedway, beginning in 2012. After a decade in that role, he co-created the Uncommon Deeds podcast with Tom Corbett, producing more than 100 long-form interviews with legendary New England racing personalities. SCONE came calling in 2023, and he was voted in as series president. At the end of the season, he purchased SCONE's assets and is now the owner and promoter of New England's only winged sprint car tour. He was recognized in 2015 with NEAR's Mitchell Ratta Media Award for excellence in media reporting for New England motorsports. It is my immense pleasure to present this award, the Maratta Award, to my very deserving friend, Justin St. Louis.
Well, thanks, Rich. I found out about this by reading the program. I figured that, which explains why you asked me to write a bio for myself. So I went down and looked at the past winners of this. The Maratta Award's the oldest award that NEAR has had, and I think this is embarrassing to say, but I think it's the one that the board and the people that run NEAR hold in the highest regard. So I don't feel deserving of it. That last sentence, if you read my bio, that I had a brief and mostly unspectacular driving career, rings very true. I wrecked on lap 1 at Thunder Road, and going in on the front bumper of the push truck, I figured maybe we ought to have a backup plan. So I annoyed Tom Curley and asked for a job, and I was selling steak knives door to door at the time. If you ever watch The Price is Right, they have Cutco steak knives as the prize for spinning the wheel and winning the thing, and that was me. And he goes, "Knives? Are you friggin' kidding me? Sit down, I need an announcer." And that was the beginning of the end, I guess, for me. So I went over to Airborne, which had 200 people in the grandstands and maybe 40 race cars, and it was a perfect place for me to screw up for a couple years on the microphone and kind of figure this game out. But they didn't let me do it on my own. They sent Ken Squire to be my shadow, which should be the other way, where I should be shadowing the NASCAR Hall of Fame announcer who got the Daytona 500 on TV, but in true Tom Curley fashion, he made me stick my neck out there, and then Ken in the background saying, "You screwed that up, you screwed that up." But it worked out, and I was smart enough to listen to what they said, and we stuck with it, and I got fired twice, and I quit once. I was just telling Rita, we were recounting the story of the time that my friends at the 2004 Milk Bowl, which is now 20 years old, I had a race car that I bought for $160, and I had my roommate drive it. We taught him how to drive stick shift in the pit area. And that was my first race announcing at Thunder Road. They thought I did well enough at Airborne to do the Saturday show at the Milk Bowl. And so we had the Junkyard Warrior division out there, and I put my buddy, who's 6'5", in a Geo Metro, who had never driven on a racetrack or driven a standard car on the street. And he flipped on the white flag lap, somehow kept the car running and finished. And I lost my damn mind. It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. And that night, they have the Calcutta. If you've been to the Milk Bowl, back when Tom was running it, they used to auction off drivers over in the barbecue pavilion, and they'd raise money for the purse for the Milk Bowl for the next day. And it always, boosted the purse by $20,000. It was a great time. They had a spaghetti dinner, and I decided I was going to go over and have dinner and watch the show. But none of my friends went along with me, and I thought, well, this is odd, but I'm hungry and there's beer. So I went over, and about an hour later I came back, and all my buddies are gathered by the truck, which is my father's truck, by the way, and they're all going, shut up, he's here, shut up, shut up. I said, great. It's late September, I'm cold, I need my hoodie, it's in the truck. So I walk over to the truck, I open the door, and it is filled from the floor to the ceiling with packing peanuts and paper shreds. At the Milk Bowl, which is Tom Curley's biggest event of the year, and it was windy that night, and I had to open the door to get in the truck, and as you can imagine, it looked like it had snowed, and there were girls doing snow angels out there, and we were giving them beer, so it was kind of our fault. But the next morning, when the sun rose, we realized just what had happened, and everybody except me had left at 6 o'clock in the morning, realizing we're not going to watch the race today, this is his problem. And I got fired for the first time that day. The next day I crawled around the parking lot on my hands and knees and bagged every one of those packing peanuts. Well, not everyone. You could still see them along the tree line for the next couple of years. But Tom stuck with me, and we've made a career out of it. Like you, I'm not doing this for money, because this is not the sport to be in if you're trying to make a living. But it's a lot of fun. I've made a ton of friends. My best man at my wedding I met through racing, actually through wrecking him. I can't think of a better way to spend a life, and hopefully I'll see a lot more of these banquets and honor a lot more of you. We've got a couple legends in the making over here at I hate talking about it, but Gabe Brown just won the ACT championship yesterday, and he's here today to celebrate Dale. But I really feel bad for Riley, because I know she had to sleep on the couch last night because he had the trophy in the bed with him, so sorry to you, Riley. But this is one of the highlights of the year for me to be at this banquet, and I just appreciate each and every one of you, and thanks for doing this for me. I didn't expect it, but I do appreciate it. Thank you.